Impact Wrestling presents Under Siege. The stars of Impact Wrestling will be under siege live May the 26th from the Western Fair District Agriplex in London, Ontario, streaming on Impact Plus, YouTube for Impact Ultimate Insiders and Fight. Tickets are on sale now at Eventbrite. New Impact World Champion Steve MACLIN under siege by PCO. Monstrous showdown set for May the 26th. At Rebellion, Steve MACLIN defeated Kushida to become Impact World Champion for the very first time. But during his changing of the guard ceremony, MACLIN revealed that his mission would not be complete until he defeated a Canadian in their home country of Canada, just like he planned to do to Josh Alexander. MACLIN laid out an open challenge to any Canadian, and it was answered by perhaps the most frightening Canadian on the entire Impact roster, PCO. With Impact President Scott D'Amore backing him up, Perfect Creation 1 demolished MACLIN's personal security force, sending a threatening message to the new Impact World Champion. Now, MACLIN and PCO are set to collide at Under Siege in a monstrous main event. What will happen when these two explosive forces go head to head with the Impact World title on the line? Steve MACLIN versus PCO at Under Siege, now a no disqualification match for the Impact World title. What will happen when these two explosive forces go head to head with the Impact World title on the line? We now know that the following MACLIN's violent assault on Rhino that sent the War Machine to the hospital, the Impact World title match between Steve MACLIN and PCO will be contested under no disqualification rules. Jordan Grace receives a last chance rematch versus Knockouts World Champion Deonna Purrazzo at Under Siege. In the main event of this year's Rebellion, Deonna Purrazzo and Jordan Grace tore the house down to determine who would capture the vacant Knockouts World title. After a grueling back and forth contest, Purrazzo reigned supreme to usher in the new age of the Virtuosa. But less than 2 weeks later on Impact, Purrazzo found herself on the receiving end of a beatdown from the reigning Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, the Coven. That was until Jordan Grace came to her aid and helped Purrazzo clear the ring of her adversaries. After a tremendous show of respect between the two rivals, Grace made it apparent that she wanted another shot at the gold. We now know that management has granted her the rematch at Under Siege, but this time the stakes are higher than ever. If Grace loses, she will no longer be eligible for another Knockouts World title opportunity as long as Purrazzo is champion. Trey Miguel defends his title against X Division pioneer Chris Sabin at Under Siege. Trey Miguel narrowly escaped Rebellion with his X Division title intact when he bested Mike Bailey and Jonathan Gresham in a breathtaking three-way bout. But just days later on Impact, Miguel was pinned by Chris Sabin in a six-man tag team action, which saw him join forces with Bailey and Gresham in a losing effort to Time Machine. With Miguel and Sabin on a collision course, we now know where they will meet with the X Division title on the line, under siege in London, Ontario. The brash Miguel has proven that he's willing to do anything to remain X Division champion, but can he get the job done against an X Division pioneer and the man who has held the title for a record-setting 8 times? 6-way #1 contenders match at Under Siege to determine the next challenger for the Impact World title. Under Siege will play host to a high-stakes showdown as 6 of Impact Wrestling's top stars vie for a coveted Impact World title opportunity. Moose and Eddie Edwards and Jonathan Gresham and Yuya Uemura and Frankie Kazarian and Alex Shelley will walk into London, Ontario with the same goal in mind, but only one can achieve it. While Moose and Eddie Edwards know what it's like to be Impact World Champion, Gresham and Yuya Uemura and Kazarian and Shelley are all looking for their first reign with the promotion's top prize. With the competition as fierce as ever, it's everyone's game at Under Siege. Sami Callihan must find 2 partners to battle the design at Under Siege. Despite the doubts of Angel and Con, Sami Callihan's betrayal of the design was something that Dina never saw coming. When Callihan assaulted the group's leader with his signature baseball bat, the grueling initiation process that he endured suddenly became worth it. But recently on Impact, Callihan fell victim to the numbers game and came to the realization that if he wants to take out the design for good, he's going to need some backup. We now know at Under Siege, the design will face off against Sami Callihan and 2 partners of his choosing in a 6-man tag team grudge match. That is, if he can find anyone who is willing to join his cause. Callihan has succeeded in finding at least one partner for Under Siege as he reunites with longtime friend and enemy Rich Swann. Trinity has an open contract for a match at Under Siege. Recently on Impact, former champion and world-renowned competitor Trinity made her highly anticipated arrival in the Impact Zone. After praising the Knockouts division and calling it the most storied women's division in all of pro wrestling, Trinity sets her sights on capturing the Knockouts World title. Following a heated confrontation with both the reigning Knockouts World Champion Deonna Purrazzo and current #1 contender Jordynne Grace, Trinity made it clear that no matter who left Under Siege as champion, she would be waiting on the other side. We now know that Trinity has an open contract for a match on that very same night, but who will step up and be her opponent? One thing is for certain, Trinity is bringing the glow to London, Ontario. Nick Aldis locks up with Kenny King at Under Siege. After making his surprise return at Rebellion, Nick Aldis revealed that his primary goal was to recapture the Impact World title. During a backstage interview, Kenny King accused Aldis of jumping the line, but in fact that is the complete opposite of what he intends to do. Aldis made it clear that he doesn't want an Impact World title opportunity handed to him. He wants to earn it. Following a triumph in-ring return over Sheldon Jean, Aldis must turn his attention towards Under Siege, where he will go one-on-one with King. Will Aldis move one step closer towards his highly sought-after Impact World title opportunity, or will King bring his quest to a screeching halt? Subculture bursts onto the scene for a golden opportunity at Under Siege. In a shocking turn of events, former Impact star Mark Andrews is set to make his long-awaited return at Under Siege as he teams with Morgan Webster to challenge ABC for the Impact World Tag Team titles. Alongside Danny Luna, Andrews and Webster are known around the world as Subculture and have taken the UK wrestling scene by storm. On the other hand, Ace Austin and Chris Bay have been on quite the roll since dethroning the Motor City Machine Guns to become the Impact World Tag Team Champions. Now, these two teams are on a collision course for what will certainly be an edge-of-your-seat showdown. Who will leave London, Ontario with the Impact World Tag Team titles? Find out at Under Siege. Giselle Shaw answers Trinity's open contract for a match at Under Siege. Following her monumental arrival just a few weeks ago, Trinity defeated Knockouts World Tag Team Champion Kylie King in her Impact in-ring debut. With an open contract for a match at Under Siege, her next opponent remained a mystery until now. Recently on Impact, Trinity was confronted by Jay Vidal, who answered the challenge on behalf of Giselle Shaw. The quintessential diva was furious with Vidal after he snapped a selfie with Trinity and posted it on social media. But Trinity fired back, stating that if Shaw has a problem with her, they can settle it in the ring. Shaw will be looking to make a statement upon returning from injury, but does she have what it takes to extinguish Trinity's momentum? The stars of Impact Wrestling will be Under Siege live May the 26th from the Western Fair District Agriplex in London, Ontario, streaming on Impact Plus, YouTube for Impact Ultimate Insiders and Fight. Tickets are on sale now at Eventbrite.